Are you all ready for me to open up all 50 diamond relic chests? Hey everyone, it's Army Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. In this video, we're going to open up all the relic chests we got primarily from Monsterwood. I believe I got 49 from Monsterwood and there's one I had from the Nemesis Survival Dungeon. So in total, we have 50 diamond relic chests to open. Before we do that, since I'm feeling lucky, let's gamble. We are going to do a level 9 rune and 4 level 1 runes, and let's see if I can upgrade this. Let's see if it'll downgrade, or let's see if it'll stay the same. And I think I need a speed. And we get, oh my gosh, it downgraded to a level 8. Ha, so much for luck. It happens. Maybe I'll be luckier with the diamond relics. Alright guys, let's go here. Let's go to diamond relics, all the way to the right. And we have 50 of them. Open up one by one or all at a time. I think what I'm going to do, because if I was to go one by one, that would take way too long. I am going to open 5 up, one at a time, and then I'm going to open all. You know what? Never mind. I'm just going to open all after the first one. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the time talking about what do I think are the relics that are most worth it. What should you invest in? What should you upgrade? Now, quick reminder. I don't know when this video is going to be released, but the only time you should level up your relics, the only time you should fuse relics into other relics is when SocialPoint releases the relic boost. When there's an experience boost. There's a time, for those of you that are new to Monster Legends or maybe haven't experienced relics, there's a time when you get 20% more experience for fusing relics. So please do not fuse until that time. Alright, with that disclaimer, let's go ahead and open up our first diamond relic chest. And from what I know, players are getting a ton of exclusive relics. Starting things off with a Moonhaze Essence, and let's go ahead and open all 49 remaining diamond relic chests. Alright, we got an Alta's Amulet ×1, 3 Witchcat's Banner, that's an exclusive, Iguanazar's Armor, Watt's Mask, Rotten, Tiny's Amulet, Taiga Trap, lots of exclusives, 4 Pump Seed Staff, 1 Cane Sword, 2 Laser Beam Sword, 4 Moonhaze Essence, 4 more. Oh my gosh, Ingvar's Banner, Talonay's Mask, I missed the Shield, Vanoss Shield ×3, Yamada's Essence, 2 Revival Relics, Talika's Banner, Mantis Claw Trap, Nadiel's Staff, and a Ruby Trap. Man, no Nabulines Trap. It's okay, I have one from previous relic chests. But yeah, take a look at everything I got. Alright, man, this is insane. Like I said, lots of exclusive. Look, this is a brand new relic, the Witchcat's Banner. When the turn starts, deal 1,700 points of dark damage. And at the end of a turn, if any enemy has nightmares, it'll remove stamina. Alright guys, so you've seen all these relics. Now let's go into the reliquary and let's talk about which relics are worth investing in. So it's pretty easy because most of the relics that are worth investing in, and hopefully you guys got a bunch of diamond relics yourself, it's going to be the diamond relics. There's very, very few gold relics that you would invest in. For example, let's just talk about the traps real quick. If you don't have a Nabulines Trap, where's my Nabulines Trap? That's a Ruby Trap. I think I only have one actually, now that I think about it. Is this a Nabulines Trap? Where is my Nabulines Trap? Bam, Mantis Claw Trap, that's Taiga's Trap. Maybe it's at the bottom. I think somewhere. Is it this one? Mantis Claw Trap. Do I not have a Nabulines Trap? Okay, here it is. Sorry, it looks different than everyone else. This, if you don't have this, you would still level up your Oblation Trap, and that's why I have 3 of them at level 35. It took me forever to get an Nabulines Trap, and to this day, I still only have 1. I might actually craft it. I might give something away like a Taiga Trap. So, yeah, there's very few gold relics you would invest in. There's even, like, 1 bronze relic that I really like, which is the Energizing Amulet, which is why I have it to 25. When the turn starts, if the warrior stamina is below 50%, they gain 45 points of stamina. Those 45 points could help you potentially win the game, right? Because your enemy has 0, one of your monsters has 0 stamina. Thanks to this relic, they recover. That's if you don't have another relic that recover your stamina for you. So the easy answer is you want to focus on relics that deal with stamina. Whether it's recovering stamina or draining enemy stamina, those are the main meta relics to focus on, okay guys? Above all else, those are the main relics. The only exceptions really are if you want to increase the power stat of your attacker, which is the Laser Beam Sword and the Vanoss 2099 Sword. Those increases their power output so they can pack up even bigger punch. But primarily, you just want to focus on stamina draining more than anything. Alright, so let's just go through every category, and I think I'll put all, because I don't know if I'm missing anything. So looking at the swords, Cane Sword is one that I really like for an attacker, because this one, aside from dealing damage, which pretty much all swords do nowadays, this one, if you are below 50%, you actually heal by up to 62,000 points if you have this relic maxed out. That is amazing. That is good healing. But again, primarily for attackers, you want to focus on something like a Laser Beam Sword, which it essentially does the same amount of damage. Cane Sword does special damage, whereas Laser Beam Sword does magic damage, but this increases your power output by a good amount of points if it's fully ranked up. Here, let's autofill real quick and see what is the max? I wish we could easily max it out. So if this is fully maxed out at level 40, it will increase the wearer's power by 5,040 points, and it triggers twice. So for example, if you have a monster that can do an extra turn skill, then you'll have 2 huge buffs on you before dealing massive damage. So I like the Laser Beam Sword to increase your damage output, but also the Cane Sword for recovery. Other relics like the Jakugan Sword, unfortunately, all this does is deal physical damage. The only advantage with this would be if you, for example, Oracle's brother can do physical weakness to the enemy, so then the Jakugan Sword would deal even more damage. But realistically, you're going with a Cane Sword or you're going with a Laser Beam Sword. Nothing else is really that important in the sword category. You could argue that you could argue that, where is it? The Nishan Sword, this can drain stamina, so in particular situations, a Nishan Sword may come in handy. For example, you have a Witch Cat that starts the game off with nightmares against the enemy team, and then automatically you can have your attacker go and attack and then drain enemy stamina with that. So it is a possibility, but again, primarily you're going to focus on the Cane Sword and the Laser Beam Sword. And again, just because I want to mention everything, the gold relics, there are monsters that possess, there are monsters that stun, there are monsters that freeze. So you could utilize some of these gold relics that drain stamina, okay? So primarily for the Infinite Gauntlet, if you don't, because the Infinite Gauntlet is all about draining the enemy stamina, preventing them from attacking you. So there are specific swords you can focus on, not the ones that deal damage, those are bad. But for these, the ones that drain stamina, after damaging with the skill of the target is possessed or stunned, 24 points. Imagine if this is maxed out. Here, let's see how much stamina you can drain if you max this out. So gold relics only go to level 35. And this one actually does a good amount, 108. So imagine having 2 swords being able to stamina drain with the golden sword relics. Again, you could find use for most things, but again, primarily you're going to focus with the diamond relics. Moving on to the masks. Ooh, we have a lot of Watts masks. My goodness. Alright, Watts mask, once again, you're going after stamina drain. So Eotron's mask, for example, if you get attacked, you drain stamina from the enemy. So this is a really good relic on the data list, for example, where you're absorbing attacks, you can drain stamina from the attacker. This triggers up to 2 times. It also increases armor. So really good for your taunt monsters that can absorb attacks and also drain stamina. But the Jazzle mask is also good from the attacker perspective. After damaging with a skill that target stamina is above 75, you remove stamina and you actually recover stamina. This is really good on the extra turn attackers that can hold the Jazzle mask. And this is also a really good relic just on any monster that can throw an AoE. So this is also a really good Infinite Gauntlet dungeon relic because a monster that can hold a mask. Maybe you can do a freeze and stamina drain. Maybe you can possess and stamina drain. Maybe you can hold a mask and another relic that stamina drains, and you essentially do 100% stamina drain while it's just doing like an AoE poison. So Jazzle mask is a top tier relic, especially for the Infinite Gauntlet. Talon's mask you don't really need nowadays. Baltazar's mask, this was never a good relic even when it was first came out. You could argue that, oh, for an attacker, no, I'd rather give my attacker something else. I'd rather drain stamina with my attacker, honestly. But if you calculate that the damage boost from Baltazar mask helps you win, then, I mean, I'm not going to argue against you. The Watts mask, I'm honestly not a huge fan of. Relics that just deal damage, not for me. But if you look at if you read the description of this, after being damaged by a skill, where it is under control status effect, so possessed and or freeze, you remove stamina from all enemies. So this kind of works like an oblation trap if you are possessed, frozen, or stunned. So it does have its uses, right? If you're outsped and you know the enemy is going to deny you, you might as well, if you have the Watts mask, this could serve as a really great way to 100% stamina drain, especially if you have like a Bomb Beta, if you have, let's max this out to see how much exactly it'll remove from all the enemy monsters. If you have a Bomb Beta, I don't think Bomb Beta can hold a mask, sorry. If you have a Data List, I'll use Data List as an example since I know he can hold a mask. If he was to get attacked from an enemy Black Feather and gets possessed, you at least know your relic will trigger. And look, you're going to remove 252 points of stamina. That's pretty darn awesome. And also, when you deal damage, you would also heal. So, you know, this does have its uses. For the most part, if you're faster than the enemy, you're not going to get use out of the Watts mask. But again, if you are in a situation where you're going to get controlled, you're going to get denied, you could definitely use this as a way to just 100% stamina drain almost. 252 points, that's insane. So Watts mask definitely has its uses, and I have a lot, so I might as well fuse them up. Alright, what else do we have? Another Jazzle mask, I'm probably going to rank that out. Talonase, yeah, you don't need Talonase nowadays. And going to the golds, just because we're talking about them, the Exhausting mask, again, removes 180 points of stamina, can be used, but the Diamond Relics, there's always like a better version, which is the Eotron's mask in this case. Alright, so again, we're just focusing after stamina draining relics. Let's move on to the essence. This one is easy. Revival essence all the way. This can make or break a game. Monster can die, can come back to life, and you can essentially win. Especially when you have meta monsters like Lindworm that can hold revival, like Shelly that can hold revival, like Tabora that can hold revival. So your monster dies, you come back to life, and you can dominate the game. Super good in the Infinite Gauntlet. You know, you can make a team of 3 monsters, especially those later nodes where you get destroyed because the enemy's like 30k speed. They can kill all of your monsters with a single AoE. All 3 of your monsters resurrect. You know, your Lindworm, your Tabora resurrects, maybe Black Feather. You turn transfer into Black Feather, you do Possession, or maybe Tabora's first in the turn order, you trade disable, then you turn transfer into Black Feather just Possession, and you go from there. So Revival Essence is the absolute must relic of all the relics. This is my #1 recommendation. Moving on, let's see, Moonhaze Essence. After being damaged by a skill, wearer's life is below 50, gives armor to the wearer. When the turn ends, if an enemy is stunned, removes 27 points of stamina from all enemies. So again, this is one of those relics that it's a stamina draining, but only when the enemy is stunned, so it definitely has its uses if you have a monster that can hold essence and can stun. But it's not something I would prioritize. When it's maxed out, it'll remove 180 points, and you can do this twice. But again, yeah, it's not really something I would prioritize. Now, let's see what else we have. It's called Moonhaze Essence because Moonhaze can stun. We have the Zyron's Essence. When the turn starts, if the wearer's stamina is below 50%, gives 55 points of stamina to the wearer. This is something I've actually utilized multiple times. Here, let's max this out to see how much you can actually recover. So actually, in the Infinite Gauntlet, there have been times where my Tabora is left without stamina, and I always have Tabora to go before Lindworm in the turn order. So, rather than my Tabora holding the Revival Essence, I had Tabora hold a level 1 Zyron's Essence just to recover 45 stamina points, just to be able to trade disable on turn 1, and then when Lindworm went, Cane of Lances triggered, and then I was able to turn transfer and win the Infinite Gauntlet. So, the Zyron's Essence is actually really useful because just the fact that you recover stamina. So, obviously, if you can max this out, it's better because you recover almost all of your stamina, 225 points. But just keeping it at a decent level enough to where you can recover stamina could mean the difference between winning or losing a game. You know, one of the better relics is Cane of Lances because you recover stamina, especially if the enemy is faster than you. Well, Zyron's Essence is essentially that. You do lose your Revival Relic, but again, there's some times where that Revival won't save you, but having enough stamina to attack, that's going to save you. So I actually really like the Zyron's Essence. Yamada's Essence, not really a good relic overall. Healing, I don't think you need to focus on healing as much. So priority for here would be 100% Revival. Zyron's Essence is also good. And then if you have a main stunner monster, you could do Moonhaze Essence if you want. Alright, moving on to the Amulet. So the Amulet, Alsa's Amulet, healing, again, not really focused on healing. That's another Alsa's I have. Alright, Charizard Amulet, this is the meta relic. After damaging with a skill, wearer's life is below 50%, deals points of special damage, and removes stamina from the enemy. Once again, Kodama is one of those monsters that can apply 2 relics that can stamina drain. So you put a Charizard's Amulet, and then you are draining stamina for days. Well, Charizard's Amulet, I believe it's also the mask. So Jastastar's mask, you essentially 100% stamina drain just by doing a regular AoE that deals damage. And after that, you attack again with the AoE. Charizard's Amulet triggers again because it has 2 uses, and the enemy's removed again, and then Kodama can still do CDA. So this is why Kodama is a top tier Infinite Gauntlet monster. So Charizard Amulet is one you should 100% prioritize. Tiny's Amulet, when the turn starts, if the wearer's stamina is below 50, they all gain 137 points of stamina. To be honest, I really haven't used this that often. It also has the damaging aspect. Who cares about the damaging aspect, as I mentioned earlier? The stamina drain is nice, but again, most of the time you want to focus on draining enemy stamina, which is why you go with the Charizard's Amulet. But this is one of those situations in which it works like a Cane of Atlantis. So again, anything that involves stamina could be useful, but most of the time you are going to be maining Charizard's Amulet more than anything. This has been a lame amulet since it was released. Not a fan of speed manipulation relics. I have to test them out though. In the Infinite Gauntlet, I have to wonder, if you were a few points slower than the enemy, if you had an amulet, how would that mess up the turn order? Would you go first? All that. I'm curious, but it's never really been a good relic. And I think, oh, I don't have this one. Frostbite. Oh yeah, I got rid of my Frostbite. Anything that just deals damage, terrible relic. So wait, it's level 40. Wait, what the heck? Oh no, it's telling me to craft one. Yeah, I think I used to have like 5 of these, and I'm like, nope, I need to craft one for another Uriel's Essence, because at the time, I only had 2, and I needed a 3rd one. So yeah, you don't need that. Supercharged Amulet, something you see that I have maxed out. This is because at the start of the battle, your max stamina is increased. So this is something I put on my Thalassa, and then she has so much stamina, so she can do all of her extra turn skills. So yeah, and then when you recharge more stamina. So yeah, I forgot to talk about golds over here, but yeah, you're really just going after stamina more than anything. It goes without saying that the Nabulion's Trap is the #1 relic here. The Rotten's Trap is very similar. After being damaged by a skill, wearer's life is below. This is the earth damage. Who cares about that? After being damaged by a skill, if any ally is defeated, removes a bunch of stamina from the enemy. So this is a lot. The downside to this is obviously one of your allies needs to be dead for this to trigger, which is absolutely awful. So the only benefit I can see from this is, I mean, obviously there are going to be situations where you know you're going to lose an ally. Like, for example, if you have a Megaton monster on your team, well, hey, if you have a Megaton monster on your team and the Megaton monster takes a hit from the enemy attacker and dies, then you know your Rotten Strap is going to be triggering and you're going to be draining enemy stamina. In the Infinite Gauntlet, there's also a situation where if you lose a monster, then your Relic could help you potentially win by draining enemy stamina. But for the most part, it's just Nebuline's Trap all the way. Mantis Claw Trap, this one does remove stamina, but it's from a single enemy, and I think you obviously should want to remove stamina from everyone, not a single enemy, even if it's spread out over everyone. This one also deals some damage, thunder damage. Tiger Trap only deals damage, that's bad. That's technically, you could use that as fusion material. Ruby Trap, after being attacked and damaged, if wears under control effect, it removes stamina from the attacker. I wouldn't do Ruby Trap, even though, again, if you find yourself in a situation where you are going to get controlled, again, Nebuline's Trap really is the way to go in terms of investing in a Relic, and if not that, then the Oblation Trap, of course. And then, let's see, I believe that's all. Pestilence Trap is fun. If you ever play your friends with level 4 monsters, run a Pestilence Trap, and you automatically win the battle because of Pestilence Trap's effect. Moving over to this. Alright, here we have two main relics. One is the Pump Seed Staff. After damaging with a skill, removes 27 points of stamina from damaged enemy. I believe I have one maxed out. Is that not maxed out? Yeah, removes 180 points of stamina from damaged enemies. And if you're damaged, you actually remove stamina from the attacker. So best of both worlds, right? The bad thing about this is that the Pump Seed Staff draining stamina aspect is only one use, right? Then the other really good one is Cane of Atlantis, where you recover stamina if you're below 50%, if any ally is below 50%. So I love both of the relics. They both have their uses. I think for Infinite Gauntlet, Pump Seed Staff really is the way to go. Once again, the whole point, like, for example, I'm using Backward Sabora in Infinite Gauntlet since I don't have a Kodama ranked up, never really invested in Kodama. So that's one strategy, right? 100% stamina draining the enemy thanks to Pump Seed Staff. And if you do get attacked, you still drain stamina. Cane of Atlantis, so you never have to worry about stamina on your team. My Lindworm runs it. That way, when Lindworm gets a turn in, if any ally is below 50, everyone recovers by a bunch of points. So two main relics. For offensive purposes, I normally find myself doing Cane of Atlantis. I rarely do the Pump Seed Staff, and that's because most of the time, there's an enemy Megaton, and the minute you deal damage, the Pump Seed Staff will trigger, and there goes the effect, the first effect, right? So I'd rather have the Cane of Atlantis, so when the enemy drains my stamina, I can recover. So those are definitely the way to go. And we have a Gakora Staff, which I believe is another relic I got rid of. When the turn starts, if any ally is under a control effect, gives armor. Nope, that's bad. And again, you could argue, oh, but if you're going to get denied, you could give yourself an armor. There's special instances where that would be the case, but again, I'm trying to talk about the relics that will mostly be useful most of the time. And Nadiao Staff, after damaging with a skill, if target stamina is below 50, deals nature damage and decreases speed. Don't care for speed manipulation and don't care for the fact that it deals damage. So again, the main theme here is we are going after stamina manipulation relics more than anything. And some golds, if you don't have access to like a Pump Seed Staff, you can get away with an Oblation Staff. It doesn't drain as much stamina, obviously, since it's a gold. Ooh, I do not want to craft. Let's level this up real quick. It does 108, but again, combined with another relic, maybe you have a Charizard's Amulet, then you can essentially do the 100% stamina drain. And we also have, if you have meat shield monsters on and you're looking to drain some stamina, you also have like a Revenge Staff. Is it this one? Oblation again. Revenge Staff, after being damaged by a skill, 144 points of stamina is removed. So remember in the Infinite Gauntlet specifically, sometimes you put a team out, a meat shield team, to basically take the hit, relic trigger, drain enemy stamina, and then you lose the game. And when you come in with your real team and the enemy, even though they're going first, they have no stamina, so they have to recharge. So, you know, it's all strategy. Moving on over to the armor. So you have Morg's Armor, a very popular relic. After being damaged by a skill, deals 20k points of dark damage. It has 3 uses. This is actually one where you could use for the fact that you deal damage because you're dealing over 60k damage over the course of those 3 turns, and it gives you a huge armor, 78k. And most of the time, the monsters that hold armors are tanky monsters, so their whole purpose is just to absorb attacks. So Morg's Armor is a good one. Against a Vampirastro though, every time the Morg's Armor triggers, she is going to recover stamina thanks to her Super Attune skill. So you're giving her free 150 stamina points thanks to the Morg's Armor. The Bonus Armor, one of my favorites. After being damaged, you heal and you give stamina. So especially when, again, enemies tend to have relics that drain stamina, sometimes your monster will absorb stuff, and then your relic can trigger, and then you have stamina, so then you can actually attack, and you healed. So Nabota's Armor is still a very good relic. This is bad now. You do not need to run it. Look at that. 52 points of armor, when even this is 62 points of healing, and I think the Morg's armor is 78k points of armor. So basically, as more and more diamond relics get released, they get like old effects plus something extra. Iguanazar's armor, when the turn starts, gives 15k points of armor. I wonder what this is fully maxed out. And when the turn starts, if the wearer's life is above 50, you deal thunder damage. Who cares for thunder damage? I think the reason it's Iguanazar is because Iguanazar can deal thunder damage to the enemy or apply thunder weakness or something, so it kind of goes with him, but who cares about that? Yeah, 52 points of armor, 52,000. Nope. Morg's armor, the way to go there. And then we also have Thetis' armor, which used to be one of my favorite armors, but nowadays I never see it used. After being damaged by a skill, if wearer's stamina is above 75, you remove stamina from the attacker, and after being damaged by a skill, if your stamina is below 25, it removes stamina from all enemies. So it essentially has like two effects, right? Depending where your stamina is at, it essentially has two uses. When you're above 75 and when you're below 25. So above 75, you are draining only from the attacker. You know, we've seen relics like that, and it drains a lot. And remember, this is the OG relic. It removes 300 points. So if you're above 75 stamina, you remove 300 points from the enemy attacker. And then when you drop below 25, you actually remove 180 from all of the enemy monsters. So kind of like an oblation trap. So I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like, again, most of the time you want the huge armor. You want that 78k armor. You want to damage the enemy. Like, I've had times where the AI attacks me and the Morg's armor kills the enemy, and I don't even have to do anything, just stand there. But again, stamina manipulation is interesting. Overall here, I would probably lean more towards an Nabotis armor for being able to attack again and kind of do whatever you need to do. Like, again, Daedalus can hold it, so what if Daedalus lost Megataunt and then also got stamina drained, and then thanks to Nabotis armor triggering, I have my stamina back, and then I can set up Megataunts again. So I would advocate for a Morg's armor or a Nabotis armor. The Thetis' armor is interesting. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about the Thetis' armor? Alright, we have two more to go. We have these shields, and yeah, don't need to talk about the rest. The rest are just essentially armors, 29,000, 28,000, whatever. Going over to here. Alright, so we have Wenzhou's shield. After being damaged by a skill, warrior's life is below 75%, removes 300 points of stamina from the attacker, and you give yourself an armor. So you get your armor, and you get the stamina drain. Huge stamina drain, 300 points. It's kind of what we saw with the Thetis' armor. Let's see, Tenacity Shield used to be the main go-to relic, but nowadays, nope. This gives the armor to everyone, only 31k. It's funny to say only 31k because this is 52k. Alright, we also have Fullman's Shield. When turn starts, if any ally is under control, you give an armor. The reason I was leveling this up was once again because there was a time when you get controlled and then, hey, having some shields better than no shield, but now we have better relics, like this one that drains stamina. Vanoss 2099 is obviously a relic you want to go with, especially for attackers. I mean, you just pack an even bigger punch. It's essentially the laser beam sword, but in Vanoss form, right? In shield form. So there are some monsters that can hold a shield and a sword, so they can definitely pack a punch. There's some monsters that can hold double shield. There's some monsters that can hold double sword, so they can pack a punch. So this gives you huge armor, and again, increases your power output by 5,040 points. Two uses. Alright, and I think that's it. Oh, we also have Hyron's Shield. This deals earth damage. Not a fan of it. The only benefit of this would be if there's like a Thunder attacker. Maybe you're fighting a Thunder Kong and Thunder Kong's attacking you. Hey, deal some earth damage against that Thunder Kong. But yeah, really no use for it. And I think that's it. I think top two shields here are definitely the Wenzhou's Shield for the stamina drain and the armor, and this for an attacker type monster. And then lastly, we have the banners. And there is one banner that stands above the rest, and that is the Mr. Beast banner, which is essentially the Charging Banner on steroids. So Charging Banner, ridiculously overpowered relic, I would say. When the turn starts, if any ally, not just the wearer, if any ally is below 25, all of your allies heal by 81 points of stamina. Well, SocialPoint gave this 3 uses. I just went through a bunch of relics. How many of them have 3 uses? None of them. At least I don't think so. Some have like multiple effects, right? Like 2 here and 1 here. But yeah, so you can trigger 3 times. SocialPoint thought it was a good idea to release an even better relic, Mr. Beast Banner. At the start of the battle, increases all allies' maximum stamina. So for the whole entire game, all your allies have more stamina than they normally would have. So this automatically counters all of these massive stamina draining relics, right? But also, when the turn starts, if any ally's life is below 25%, the same as the Charging Banner, it gives 150 points of stamina and it has 3 uses. Ridiculous. This isn't even fully maxed out. It actually heals by 162 stamina points, and it increases max stamina by 108 points. So, crazy powerful relic, must have in every arsenal. This is really the way you go. I always use the Mr. Beast banner. Honestly, there was a time when I've had Ink Darmid's banner for a long time at level 40. But even then, I would always use a charging banner, and it wasn't until I got Mr. Beast banner that now the charging banner never gets used. If you ever see a player not using charging banner or Mr. Beast banner, they're doing something wrong, because this is really the only banner you should prioritize. Now, obviously, talking about some of the other ones, Diamond's banner, your allies get armor and you get fire protection, so you take 50% less damage from a fire-based attack. So if you were fighting a fire-based monster, the Diamond's banner could help your monster stay alive, right? At the start of the battle, it also increases your monster's power. That doesn't really matter too much. You could increase your attacker, but really the Diamond's banner would only be for that fire protection more than anything. Ingvar's banner, this heals all of your allies and you gain stamina. So again, I do like stamina manipulation relics, but Mr. Beast's banner does the stamina way better. But again, there are uses where the Ingvar's banner could come in handy. But I mean, Mr. Beast's banner, guys, it's incredible. And Witchcat's banner, I don't really see myself using this too much. Again, it works in those situations where you can apply nightmares. So, for example, it's funny because even Vampirastral, she can apply nightmares, so she could do an AoE nightmares, and then you can drain enemy stamina with Vampirastral, but most of the time with Vampirastral, you want to go with Mr. Beast's banner so she can keep recovering her stamina. I might invest in it because I'm curious about it, but how much is it? I'm assuming it's, I don't know if I checked it already, is it 180? Let's max it out. I'm thinking it's 180 points of stamina. Yeah, it's 180 points of stamina. So most of the time I find myself just doing Mr. Beast's banner more than anything. What else do we have? Mr. Beast's banner. Oh my gosh, I have a couple of them. Maybe I'll do 2 maxed out. We have Talika's banner, increases the allies' max life. You don't really need that. This is a fun relic to do, again, in a team war situation. Sorry, not a team war. In a friendly battle, level 4 monsters, but then you have a maxed out Talika's banner, and now your level 4 monsters have an insane life. But other than that, yeah, you don't really need anything else. So, there we go. I just went through all the relics, which ones I think are worth it more than anything. I hope this video was helpful. Now you know in every single category what you're looking out for, which are the better ones. And you got to see me open up 50 diamond relics. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Best of luck to all of you. I hope SocialPoint does do another event for more players to get diamond relics. And I don't know, what are you guys going to be doing with them? Remember to only level them up when there is an experience boost, okay? That is an absolute must. If anyone levels them up when there's not an experience boost, just don't talk to me, guys. Come on, I'm trying to help you out. So only when there's an experience boost, get the most out of your relics. And with that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think are the best. Maybe do one in each category in the comments below. Thank you very much, and remember to subscribe.